All right, folks. It's looking like we have a game about ready to start. Round one for Overwatch 2 this year is going to be Control. Control is all about finding a point and capturing it. So, it's basically like King of the Hill, almost, like Capture the Flag. Looks like the Gorillas are taking Elios as our first map. Elios is a very good map. It's... They will have 5 minute delay? Okay. Um, Elios is kind of an interesting map because on every capture point there's a gigantic well in the middle of there. So that definitely is a good option for you to use your movement-based abilities and also anything that can be good for crowd control. So think like a concussive blast from Pharah or a coach gun from Ashe or sorry, not sorry when I say this, but maybe a Maunga overrun. Um, yeah. Well, folks, we're gonna get you in here shortly. Yeah. Sit tight, folks, because this is gonna be a good one. Well, since we have some time to kill before the game starts, I would like to talk about the newest hero in the game, Wu Yong. Wu Yong is a support hero hailing from Chengdu in China. He is a student at Wuxing University in Chengdu. He was originally supposed to go into Fire College, which is a college there that specializes in martial arts, but he ended up in Water College, which is more about healing and support and stuff like that. However, he was able to you find a way to weaponize water, and thus he received an invite into Overwatch. Wu Yong's main attack is his Zhuan Yu staff. It fires an orb of water, and it's pretty sick because he can control trajectory. So it's almost like he's using the force to move it. He also has an alternate fire of Restorative Stream, which this basically acts a lot like Mercy's healing beam. His main abilities are Rushing Torrent, which he generates a bubble to ride on, and that gives him which gives him a pretty good increased speed boost as well as a jump height boost. And then on top of that, he has Guardian Wave, which is basically he sends out a gigantic wave that increases the amount of healing of any allies that are in there while also knocking back enemies. Kind of like that one wave I got hit by when I was 5 years old at the beach. Anywho, uh, oops, sorry. Alright, there we go. Sorry, I just saw some errors on something. Alright, and then finally, his ultimate ability is Tidal Blast. He creates a shield that either can go onto himself or an ally, and it will explode after a short bit, doing knockback. And it will also heal. It'll also heal the hosts. Alright, well, we have our first map here, folks. I did say it was Elios, but that was just temporary. We are taking you to Lijiang Tower. Lijiang Tower is our first map. Alright, well, looks like we're getting geared up. Buckle up, folks, because let's get this televised season started. All right, so it's looking like we have some returning players with us this season. We have Professor Comedy, the captain as always, and then Elkratz and Whiskery are following with him, and then we have two new players this season. We have Rygai plays, and we have Sakuya playing with us. Definitely going to be curious to see how they do here, and then for our opposition, never mind, we are going into the game here.
Now arriving at Lijiang Tower.
Alrighty. Alright, our heroes are getting assembled. Giving you a bit of a view of Lijiang Tower as we figure out where our point is going to be. Up to say doggy. Alright folks, let's get this season started off right as we work on getting our heroes assembled.
Ready for battle.
Alrighty. It looks like we have Comedy on a Sigma, Sakuya on a Juno, Rygai playing as Freya, Elkratz as Moira as per usual, and Whiskery on Venture. Looks like our opposition is going to be a Symmetra Vel, Laboat 98 on a Bastion, Izumi with a Zarya, Sir Unlikely with a Lifeweaver, and SS Jagoan on Kiriko.
2,
Alright.
Round 1. Capture the objective.
Alright, well, it looks like this is going to be our objective. Armies onward! I've been itching to say that. Alright. Never mind, I stand corrected. Here we go. Alright, well, looks like our guerrillas are off on the attack as I see adaptive barrier is down, and we are just working on trying to get on into that point. Trying to make sure the Weevils don't get there. First. Alright, looks like Rygai is in the point. He's contesting it. And Whiskery goes down. And it looks like the Weevils are starting capture, but it is still very early as Comedy tries to take this back for us. There goes the Biotic Orb. Lifeweaver dashing in. Alright, this is being contested. And I think I see a Rygai trying to come in, but it looks like Laboat is looks like we have a bit of a firefight out here. Guerrillas are working on it, trying to advance into that point. And I see those projectors slowing Constantine. There goes a... Oh no. Alright, Sakuya is back in the game. It looks like we have a Coalescence and we have a... Looks like we have a Sigma ult and a Moira ult ready as well. I see the Guerrillas. Guerrillas take the high ground. Guerrillas take the high ground, and there goes a Coalescence. Guerrillas trying to sneak in, and the point is working on becoming ours as we contest it and we take it. Alright, I am going to turn my volume down just a little bit.
Hello there.
If I can. Alright, well, looks like we have a Hyper Ring out ready to speed us up. Now the Guerrillas are doing the Bull Weevil thing and trying to defend from out there. The Guerrillas currently sit 1-1 on the season. We currently have a win over Minnesota State Warhead, and we also lost our first match to DC. But it looks like we are not having any problems here as we're working on defending that ground. Down goes SSJ Gohan and Izumi. Looks like the Guerrillas are still at full strength. Hey, I see Pengu's in the chat. Pengu, a former player. Alright, all is calm, but there we go. Out goes that purple bionic orb, ready to do some damage. Work on absorbing some of those hits. Alright, we are past the 60% mark here. Gorilla's staying valiant. Alright, I see Ryguy has switched over to Sojourn. As Sojourn almost kicks me in the face. Alright, we are past the 75%. This one, I think, might be ours. 91, 2. Oh boy. Oh, do we have some late game action? I don't think so. And that one goes to us. Alright, well, currently 1-0.
Score 1-0.
Alright, folks. So this means that if we take one more point, round 1 is ours. I am ready to see this.
Ready for battle.
Alright, looks like we're inside of the observatory here. The teams are preparing their attacks. Doesn't look like the Gorillas are going to be changing up their roster a little bit.
Five,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Round 2.
Bring 'em
Capture
on.
the objective.
Alright. Gorillas working their way there, and it looks like Bell is the first one in, but I think the Gorillas are hot on their trail as I see a barrier go out. I hear Sojourn saying, dodge this. That must mean a disruptor shot is out. That's working on jamming them up. There goes Decretion, but away goes Sigma. Alright, down goes Ryguy, but Izumi is out too. And it looks like Sakuya has changed to Lifeweaver. Alright. Alright, the Gorillas have started capture on point C. It looks like we are engaged in a pretty fierce firefight. Looks like we don't have any ultimates go down, but Whiskery and Elkrats take down some people and go with Whiskery again. And down goes Izumi. And Vel is back at full strength. Almost a Gorilla team kill, but we have hit the 25% mark, folks. Alright, there goes a friendly disruptor shot. I see a Reinhardt on the field now. The girls are still remaining fierce as it's tank on tank as we try and take down Izumi. Barrier goes down, so does Whiskery. But we have a Coalescence heading out. Looks like we have a Gravity Flux as well, as we are past the 50% mark here. Alright, down goes Izumi, Veld, and folks, we have a Gorilla team kill!
I'm working.
It puts the bullet in the skin so the Gorillas can have the win. Alright, looks like the Weevils are back in action. But looks like not for long as the Gorillas remain strong. I cannot word. And we hit the 75% mark.
Excavation initiation! Not so fast.
Still working on mowing them down. Looks like 3 of them are down. Alright, we are hitting the 90% mark. I think this one might go to us. 93, 4, 5, 6. Uh-oh, do we have a late game to test? The answer is no, we do not. And round 1 goes to the Gorillas. Alright, folks, let's see this play of the game. And it goes to
Play of the game.
Izumi.
Огонь по готовности!
folks, that is round one in the bag. Gorillas currently lead 1-0. Coming up next, we have some hybrid action for you. Don't go anywhere, folks. All right. Alrighty then, everyone. Looks like we are about to get underway with the hybrid round here, and it would appear to me that we are taking King's Row, your home and mine. Alright. For those of you who are just joining us, Gorillas currently lead 1-0 over the Arkansas Monticello Bull Weevils. Very curious to see what we can do here now that we're on familiar grounds. For those of you who are unaware, Hybrid is essentially a mixture of Flashpoint and Escort. For the first part of it, you have to capture a point, and then from there you have to push a payload to 2 different points. However, there's going to be another team trying to attack you and stop from doing that. So, but your objective as one team is to make sure it goes the full 9 yards. Everything else, though, is on you to attack. Alright, we are heading in there.
Now entering King's Row.
Alrighty, it is good to be back on some familiar grounds. Alright, looks like our heroes
Initiating
are
match.
being assembled. Ah, I've missed this place. Alrighty. Looks like there's going to be our payload. Question is, where's our point? Alright. Let's see who our heroes are going to be this match. Survey says. Alright,
Ready
looks
for
like
battle.
Comedy has switched onto a Reinhardt, and Elkrat has switched to a Mercy, and Whiskery onto a Mei. Classic. Looks like Ragai and Sakuya are staying on their roles. And I see Reinhardt doing what Reinhardt does best, charging in. Looks like we're going to start and get ready to make sure. Yeah, but I see a damage boost. Looks like we're playing the wall game. Doing a little spray just for funsies. Looks like we're still waiting on Fel and Easy to pick their opposition. Alright, folks. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Armies onward.
Defend objective A.
Alright. There's a double place barrier as we work on trying to take down that Zarya. Ice wall goes up. Looks like they picked the Sojourn into Zarya. Looks like Reinhardt's getting in there. Reinhardt is very much a frontline man, so it is good to see him doing what he does best. And it looks like they're switching on to a Junker Queen for our opposition. Not going to slow us down, I don't think. Alright. Looks like we re-engage. Gorilla's playing defense here, staying behind the walls. And it looks like so are the Weevils. It's a matter of who can get over there first. And it looks like the wall goes down. And it looks like Ragai is down in Comedy. But Comedy, Ragai does get revived. And it looks like the Weevils are starting to inch their way. Point, but we're not letting them have it. As I see a speed ring go out. I do not want to see the Junker Queen right now. I want to see the Gorillas. And there's an Earth Shatter, and that stuns Labote, and Labote goes down. And so does Comedy. Right down goes Juno. Ragai is down too. Whiskery doing everything possible to keep this alive. Alright, looks like we have a Blizzard ready to go. And it looks like they have captured the point. Looks like Comedy has switched to a Zarya though.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Don't worry folks, it's not over yet. Like I always say, comebacks can happen. Speaking of coming back, here come our Gorillas. Trying to knock down that Junker Queen. It is always a good idea to take Junker down it's always a good idea to fight Junker Queen from a distance, because she is very much a short-range player. So having long ranges like on a Zarya and a Mei, that can always be very helpful. Looks like that payload is moving, but our Gorillas aren't going to let that happen as it stops. I'll be back. Yep, I see the Gorillas hanging out on the other side. As I try not to hit my head on a sign. Alright, looks like we've got some energy blasts. As we work on that beam, trying to whittle down a Brigitte shield over here. Looks like Raga has switched on to Freya, a player that they like. Alright. Whiskery goes down, but we are trying to take them down as well. Easy is down. Looks like Ragai has the high ground, and so does Elkratz. Trying to do a little aerial damage. Alright, we are contesting it. Up goes an ice wall, and so does Ragai with a little updraft. Firing those bolts like mad, and Labote and Bill go down, and looks like Jagohan goes down, and Izumi is unlikely going to go down too, do we think? Alright, looks like we are moving into some high grounds. This is always a good spot for a character like Freya, whose attack is very mechanic-based. One of my... Alright, whoa, Nelly. Alright, I see a blizzard ready to happen. It looks like Comedy got stunned and is down. There goes the ice wall with 2 minutes left to go. Alright, and it looks like that point is moving toward its penultimate checkpoint. Looks like the gorillas are back in full strength. And they are hanging out over there. As I see a Reinhardt go in.
Clear out. The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Looks like Elkratz has switched over to Moira. Now that's something that I always enjoy. Elkratz is very good on a Moira, and Moira is very good all around thanks to her abilities to both deal damage and heal. As all supports do, but that's kind of the basis of her kit, so... And plus her healing comes from enemy damage, so that's always a good thing to have in battle. As the gorillas stop the payload.
This is to my liking.
And it looks like we are moving the other way here, folks. That's a good sign. Alright, I see a Bastion up on the horizon. But our gorillas are saying, not today, as we work on trying to take them down.
This ends now.
Freeze a jungle queen, and she is frozen. Sounds like an artillery's going out. They have a rally and an overclock, but that looks like it doesn't do too much to us, aside from Comedy going down. Down goes Whiskery. The payload is moving. I try not to bump into Sojourn.
I'm working.
Alright, looks like our gorillas are back at full strength, and we are fully angered here as we try to prevent that from getting to its final destination. Looks like Comedy out with a barrier, Elkratz with a healing spray. Looks like Juno's doing that her blaster thing.
Time for the reckoning!
There goes the reckoning, and there goes Ragai, Elkratz, and Juno. Looks like Comedy is the last one standing. And he is behind a wall. No, he's charging. Oh, man. And... oh, with just a fraction left, we're going to try and stop this. Alright, looks like we do a little self-heal or self-freeze. We have 60 seconds left in this, and we can try and knock him out. I see a bullet shot and a blizzard, so it looks like we're freezing both ways.
Not so fast.
Alright. Down goes Elkratz, down goes Ragai, down goes Whiskery, but Comedy working on that shield. I see an Earth Shatter, and it is on the point.
Complete.
Now this isn't the end of the round, or this isn't...
Score.
This does not go to the Weevils yet, folks. We have to do everything that they just did in order to tie, and then we will go into extra rounds. If we fail to do that, though, then that goes to the Weevils. But if I know my team well, and how fierce they are, I think we're going to make this happen. It looks like we're going to be starting here. Alright, what are we thinking? Like... Alright, so we've switched it up a little bit. Comedy is back on Sigma. Sakia is sticking with Juno. Ragai is taking a Tracer. Nice. Elkratz is taking a Symmetra, and Whiskery is on a no, Elkratz is on Kiriko, and Whiskery is on Symmetra. I may have fumbled my words, but oh well. Alright. Now tell me, where are my friends? Alright, I see the gorillas up ahead. Looks like this eye in the sky is gonna do some flying today. As we try and figure out the map barriers. 3, 2, 1. Let's get to capturing.
Defend objective A.
Alright, we're past the Master Mondata statue as I see that experimental barrier go out.
Barrier unsuccessful.
Hello, gorillas. Mind if I join you a bit? And the teleporter goes out. We're working on taking that point. We're trying to fight from the high ground, which is always a good idea. There goes that A36, which proves unsuccessful. Gorillas working on taking it as we try and take down that Zarya in her little bubble. Alright, Bell goes down. Labode is still down. Izumi and Unlikely and Jagahan are MIA. And
Objective lost. Stop the
Alright.
payload.
Alright, Gorillas working on trying to whittle them down. Alright, and we are riding this thing. Alright, I see. Looks like teleporter goes down. Bastion and A36, no problem to us though.
Few tricks, not so fast.
Gorillas are trying to regroup here. We're not going to let it be contested today though, as the barrier goes down though, but no problem. See the teleporter is back online, and we are moving again.
Breaking them down.
Alright, I see those healing stars go out. There's a disruptor. Trying to stop the threat on the horizon as Juno sticks around. I think that's very clever positioning to have your support on the payload while everyone else goes up ahead. Mainly because the supports have generally lower health,
Dodge this.
so that's keeping them out of harm's way. Alright. Looks like Gorillas survived that Graviton surge thanks to a cleverly placed teleporter. I see Juno doing the pew-pew. Gorilla's trying to take the fight from the distance as Bell switches to Roadhog. Roadhog is another short-range character that is always a good idea to take down from a distance, especially now that his Pigpen is removed. Roadhog used to have an ability called Pigpen, which essentially acted like a motion-activated slowing line. However, in a recent rework, his only means of getting to your opponent is that chain hook that you just saw fly out. Also, his primary fire got reworked, so it is now a best of both of his fires. It fires... Or no, both of his attacks got split. So one attack is just a simple ball of scrap, and then the other is a wide volley. It looks like our Gorillas are not worried about that at all as we pass the checkpoint. Like we just ride it out. I hear Ride of the Valkyries. Alright, and we have an orbital ray coming out. And so is the photon barrier and the overclock. Looks like Kitsune Rush and Gravity Flux can happen whenever. Alright, we are almost there, folks. Alright, and Whiskery is on fire with a triple kill. Alright, we have tied it up here, folks.
Score 3-3. Switching sides.
Alright, heroes are getting assembled, and we have learned our lesson from last time, and we are going to fly back to the starting position. And we can apparently not fly over that.
Ready for battle.
Alright, looks like Comedy is back on the Reinhardt. Elkratz and Whiskery are sticking with their heroes. Looks like Sakuya is sticking with the Juno as well. I see a Reaper on their end. Reaper is also a good short-range fighter, but unlike the Queen and Roadhog, he does have effective means of catching up with you, mainly his Wraith form and Shadow Step, so that's something we're going to want to watch out for here. Rygai is back on the Sojourn.
I'm working.
Why, yes, we can see you are working, Moira. Alright. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Attackers
Let's
incoming.
do this.
Defend objective A.
Alright, looks like it's tank on tank. As we work on trying to eat the bacon. And... Oh. And the hog is frozen, and the hog goes down. Alright, Gorillas are fiercely defending this. Ice wall goes down. Bullets spraying everywhere. Up goes the wall. Izumi has been taken down. Whoa, and we have knocked back Roadhog.
10 seconds remaining.
Alright, 10 seconds remaining to do something.
Round 3 complete.
All the tales.
Alright, so since we were able to stall them,
Score.
nothing effective could happen, so it
3.
looks like we...
Switching sides.
Alright, switching sides here. And I am at the right spot this time. Yippee! Alright. Just gonna pace around the Mondata statue while we wait. Alright. 5 seconds to see who our heroes are here. And in
Ready
we
for
go.
battle.
Comedy has switched back to Sigma. Elkratz is back on Kiriko. Whiskery is back on the Symmetra. Alright, so same-ish roster. I was... Oh, wait, no, I was. We're just gonna... And then it looks like we have a May to deal with on the Weevil's side. Alright, we have about 15 seconds left to prepare for this.
Just don't get caught.
Five,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Attackers
Here
incoming.
we go.
Defend
Looks like we take the
objective A.
wall. Alright, I see that barrier go down and go down. But nothing our gorillas can't handle as we take you through the cinema. Up we go to the high ground. Not contesting that point. There's like their vein freezes, but it's nothing we can't handle. Whiskery and Rygai are down. Weevils are getting aggressive. I see a Sigma just stalling there. Oh, okay, so we've switched to a... Comedy has switched onto an Orisa. No, a Ramatra. Ramatra is somewhat similar to Sigma in terms of barriers. And it looks like Whiskery was debating switching to a Hanzo as well, but it looks like we are back on to May. Looks like we're going Nemesis form on them. Alright, there's that Vortex. Trying to take that point. Alright, it is contested, folks. It looks like we work on freezing some robot. Alright, folks. There goes those healing torpedoes. And
Victory.
round 2 is the gorillas as well. Oh man, what a fight. Alright, who is our
Play
player of the
of the
game?
game.
None other than our very own Professor Comedy on Reinhardt. Ah, yes. Stop. Empty. Alright, folks. Well, we are currently up 2-2. I am sitting on the edge of my seat here, folks. Will we improve to 2-1, or could we have a potential tie on our hands? Whatever happens, I will be there. This is Mark Ziegler throwing you onto a break. Coming up, Flashpoint. We'll see you soon. Alright, folks. We are back in action here. For those of you just joining us, Gorillas are currently up 2-0. This could decide it all. Flashpoint is the name of the game here. And have you ever seen something come in really big sizes and then come in miniature? That is Flashpoint, and it's basically in the same vein as Control, except instead of 3 possible points, there are 5, and you have to capture 3 of them. Alright, well, while our heroes get assembled here, I'm gonna be curious to see what we come up with. Alright, looks like we have a fairly similar roster on our side. We have Comedy back on Sigma, Sakya is sticking with Juno, Ragai is back on the Sojourn, Elkratz is sticking to Mercy this time, and Whiskery is back on the Venture. Alright, and it looks like we're gonna have to deal with an Ana, a Junkrat, an Orisa, let's see here, Brigitte, and a Reaper.
5,
Alright, 4,
3,
2,
1.
1. Armies onward!
Initial flashpoint.
Alright. Looks like we are trying to find where our friends are. Oh, wrong team. Right team. Alright, time for the reckoning. Alright, let's bring into the arena here. Looks like the Weevils might have this one early on. Let's go. There they are. Alright, looks like we're trying to do some rail gunning from up top. Stick to the high ground. Barrier is down. Healing pulsars go out. Jumping into the fray here. A missed Javelin pushing forward. Javelin. Ugh. Alright. Keep it unfolding. Alright, barrier is gone again. We are contesting this as we try to make sure the Weevils don't get to the halfway mark. Alright, down goes Unlikely, down goes Izumi. Alright, and we are working on this one now, folks. Looks like Juno is scouting the high ground, so is Comedy. Barrier's just been kind of set and forget. Hello. Gorilla's trying to make sure that they don't get there, and I try to make sure I can get around the killer. Alright, we are past the 30% mark here. Barrier goes down. Hyper Ring is out. Oh, what just went sliding? Alright, Gorilla's trying to get back into the point to make sure that no one does anything. And we have officially surpassed their capture progress. Alright, and down goes their Reinhardt. Alright, Healing Beam is on the Comedy. And we are still just trying to stall them. 77, 78. Who do we appreciate? Alright, we are at the 97. Alright, and Flashpoint A is Gorilla property as we take you to the next one.
Next flashpoint, Junkyard.
Alright, the Junkyard shall be our next flashpoint. We follow the Gorillas to the scene. Alright, Ragai is down. Looks like all of our ultimates are ready. The question is, when will they be used? Alright, looks like the Weevils.
Unlocks in 10 seconds.
Alright, our point unlocks on this one. Whiskery and Ragai are back. And it's looking like that one is gonna... Weevils are gonna start capture on that one. Not if the Gorillas have anything to say about it. Looks like Comedy gets stunned, so does Ragai, but there's that orbital ray. Gorilla is trying to attack from cover. Alright, Gorillas are working on testing. Alright, and looks like we're going to get the jump on this one as well as we work on trying to take down that Reinhardt from midair. And we do. Gorillas remaining defiant as we try to build down that Rakita shield. Whoa, Nelly! It's good! Alright, and Jaogun, Unlikely, LeBeau are down. I'm sorry, did I just watch a flying Brigitte go on that one? Wow. Alright, Gorilla's trying to stop the intruders from entering. And I see that Coalescence go out on the other end. So I see a Gravity Flux on our end too. Looks like we have an Overclock that can go down whenever. Looks like it's past the 75% mark. Whiskery burrowing and coming up from here. And down goes the Reaper. Alright, we're past the 80%. I hear a hammer down. Question is, can we make the Hammerman go down? Oh, we are in overtime. And that one goes back to the Weevils for capture progress. Not if the Gorillas have anything to say about it, as I see a Disruptor shot fizzle out. Looks like we're starting to regroup here. Come back in on the attack. Try to work on that Moira, who is almost down. Izumi gets stunned. But they have an Ash on their side. Very good for knocking them back. But it looks like we are contesting it again. Alright, this is it. The Guerrillas take back the capture. And the Guerrillas take point D. Alright. Flats are our next object as we work on making our way there. Down goes the Junkrat. Let's see, where did we go? Ah.
Flashpoint unlocks in 10 seconds.
Alright, your eye in the sky is on the way to the next flashpoint. Alright, flashpoint is unlocked. Looks like the Guerrillas are going to start on the capture this time. But we do have a contest. Not if we got anything to say about it, as we work on knocking down that Izumi. I hear a tectonic shock going to rock. Mystery. Alright, Ragai and Mystery are down, but it looks like we have that overclock ready to roll out whenever. Same thing with the Orbital Ray and the Gravity Flux. The Weevils are looking like they're going to take this one to start capturing. Nothing I'm not worried about, though. I think... Let's see, I see the Guerrillas.
A taste of poison.
Is not what we're going to be tasting, Moira. As we work on trying to knock down that Reinhardt barrier. I see that Chain Beam. Right, up and over. I hear the Earth Shatter, and that knocks down, or that stuns Ragai. Nothing we're not worried about, though, as Comedy makes a joke of the Reaper. Alright, and the Guerrillas taking this one back. This could be it, folks. This could be what launches the Guerrillas to 2-1. But we have a whole heap of capturing to do as we work on seeing our threats. I hear a Death Blossom. Doesn't look like it's going to hit us, though. Uh-oh, I hear a Riptire. Looks like it may have been a little premature detonation. The Weevils are going to try to take it back. Not that we have anything to say about it. Goes that Gravity Flux. There goes that. Alright. Weevils are going to take this one for the capture. As it looks like the Sakuya goes down and the Guerrillas get ready to head back to the fray. Looks like we've already started something of a contest here. Mystery is out of the burrow, trying to knock down that Reinhardt on his own. Ooh. Alright, that one goes to the Weevils, but it's not over yet. Alright, the refinement is on right now. Guerrillas trying to stop the Weevils from getting there first.
Flashpoint unlocks in 10
Alright,
seconds.
flashpoint goes out in 10. Let's see who's gonna start on it first.
Flashpoint unlocked.
Alright, the Guerrillas are gonna start capture on here. Yep. Oh, mama, we got a contest here. Whoa, wait, this is the hammer runner. Alright, we're working on taking down their barrier. I am not hungry now.
Helden sterben nicht.
Alright, I hear a Valkyrie. Guerrillas are in kind of a tight-knit spot here. But it looks like we are stopping progress in the capture. There goes that tectonic shock. Trying to knock down that Reinhardt shield. Down goes Whiskery, Elgrass, and Sakia. Let's see, looks like Comedy is assessing the situation right now. I think they're all wanting to run in together, it would appear. Good strategy. As I hear that gravity flux.
This ends now.
Alright, we are in overtime here, folks. I hear 2 orbital rays. Gorillas are not going to let them take it, though. As we work on with everything they have to take it out. And we have a contest. And we have a capture. And as Reinhardt charges back into the fray, the Gorillas are not going to let it happen, it would appear. Down goes Ragai, though. Alright, and that goes to the Weevils, but it's not over yet. In the words of my father, we got ourselves a ball game here, kids. Alright, we're taking you to the 5th and final flashpoint. This could decide if we go to extra rounds or if this one goes to the Gorillas. It looks like Comedy has switched onto a Diva pick. That's always going to be a good option for whenever you have your enemies close together, especially if you can get a self-destruct out. Alright, looks like we're working on trying to see who's going to take it. The Weevils were thinking about it, but we knocked them down. Looks like Diva's working on gunning down that Reinhardt as we go under with a Mercy healing boost by our side. Doing a little double bunny hop. Girls working on taking the capture. Down goes the Reinhardt, down goes the Reaper. And the Gorillas are starting capture on this one as the rat has been flushed. Alright, alright, alright. So now this one is under our control. Gorillas are working on scattering to try and find the threat. And it looks like there's our threat right there as a cleverly placed defense matrix tries to eat up some of their stray bullets. So we have a self-destruct, an overclock, and a Valkyrie ready to go. It looks like the Mercy is trying to take down that Reinhardt. Uh-oh, we have a Weevil contest here. But not if Whiskery has anything to say about it as they go dashing in.
Nerf this.
Alright, self-destruction, and kaboom! A new mech spawns in. We are past the 75% mark, and the Weevils are starting to capture. But it looks like Ragai is still on the high ground, so it is Comedy. Alright, the Gorillas are looking to play the defensive game here now that the Weevils are on their trail. Weevils, meanwhile, trying to defend that point with their life. But I think the Gorillas might be trying to come back in. As I see a speed ring and a Valkyrie, then we have a contest. Uh-oh, neck goes boom. And down goes Diva.
Escape me.
So the Gorillas are back at full strength.
Excavation
Oh, we have a tectonic shock.
This ends now.
Alright, Gorillas are giving all they got with that overclock and that tectonic shock and the orbital ring. We want this. This has our name on it. And down goes the Junkrat and Jagohan. Ragai gets resurrected. Sakia is down. So is Elkrats. But down goes Bell and Unlikely. That overtime clock is still ticking as it's a group effort between Comedy and Alright, and the Gorillas are working on taking it.
Breaking them down.
Alright, we are past the 90% mark. 96, 7, 8, 9, and your Gorillas win this game. 2-1, oh what fun. Alright, and who is our play of the game? And it looks like we have that Whiskery with Avenger. Alright, what kind of damage will you do here? Ah, yeah, trying to whittle down that shield as we take down the Alrighty then, folks. Well, that's it. Your Gorillas are moving.